In this video, we're going to continue summarizing the quest lore in Bastion. Now, this is the 6th chapter in the series, so if you want to catch up, then check out all the links to the previous episodes down below. But let's go ahead and jump right in and find out what's going on in World of Warcraft. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Quaylen, and I summarize the quest lore that so many people skipped reading while playing World of Warcraft. So if you're like me and you flew through the quest and now you want to know what happened, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications so you know when I drop a new episode. Okay, so we're on chapter 6 in Bastion. But before we dive into it, let's do a little recap of chapter 5. Last time we made our way to Hero's Rest in order to speak with the Polemarch, who is the right hand of the Archon. After meeting him, we then traveled to Elysian Hold in order to speak with the Archon, who pretty much said to beef up security around the area. We ended the chapter by checking the protection wards for each of the temples located in Bastion, and found that the Ward of Purity had been turned off, which explains how the Forsworn were able to attack it. We also witnessed Uther deactivating the Ward of Courage, leaving its respective temple vulnerable to attack. But if you'd like to see the entire chapter breakdown, then go ahead and click this link right over here. So that now brings us to chapter 6. Let's get into it. When speaking with the Polemarch, he tells you that we need to get to the Temple of Courage as soon as possible, because that's where the next attack is gonna happen. Now, the Temple of Courage is where all the Kyrian train in combat, not only to protect Bastion, but to also ensure their own safety when retrieving souls from across the Veil. So once you get to the temple, you're to speak with Thanikos, who happens to be the right hand of the Paragon of Courage. Now you head out and make your way to the Temple of Courage. While flying over there, Pelagos and Kalea talk about how Uther seemed to not know that the Forsworn were in league with the Maw. Had he known, maybe his actions would have played out a bit differently. Who knows? I kind of feel like he's been played a bit. But upon arriving to the Temple of Courage, you see Lysonia speaking with Helia, who says that their allies have been waiting to strike. And that's when the Maldraxxi show up and begin to attack. So great, now we've got another realm that's all buddy-buddy with the Maw. Fantastic. One more thing that we have to deal with. Once you land, you run up to speak with Thanikos. He says that in a fair fight, the Kyrian could have taken the Maldraxxi, no problem. But he mentions that this wasn't a fair fight. They came without warning and caught everyone unprepared. Wait a sec, Thanikos thinks that a fair fight is when you schedule it and let the enemy know that you're coming? So I'm just wondering, does this guy think he's gonna get a phone call from Maldraxxus when something goes down?
Hey, we're thinking about coming over there around 2 o'clock or so to fight. You guys good with that?
Yeah, that sounds fine. Again, I'm really worried about the writing here because this is really bad. So Thanikos says that we need to reclaim Xandria's Vigil, which is the place where you're at. And Thanikos calls out the Lich guy named Nalthor, saying that he's betrayed his oath to Maldraxxus. And as you fight, the Nalthor guy says that his master wants Bastion destroyed so that the Kyrian bodies can be harvested for their armies. Way to give up your entire plan. That was a smart move. But eventually you're able to push forward, and you're able to speak with Thanikos again. He says that the northern grounds have been taken over by the House of Constructs, which is home to Maldraxxus's most resilient warriors. So you need to head over there and reclaim that ground. Now you run up to Mykonikos, who says that he can rebuild this Colossus's core, but he needs a few replacement parts. Those being an Anima Conflux, some Eternity Plating to protect the core, and an Archonic Resonator. Once you have those, then this thing can do some damage. Lastly, you run up to Disciple Apollon, who says that there are a few Kyrian inside of this area that are being held captive. Since the Maldraxxi are taking them back to their realm a few at a time, they keep the ones on standby here in cages. So you need to rescue 6 of them. Now you head out. Rescue the 6 Kyrian from their cages. Kill the Maldraxxi forces in the area to secure it. and pick up the spare parts for the Colossus. Once that's all done, you head back to the starting area. When speaking with Disciple Apollon, he rewards you with the Ascended Defender's crest for having freed the Kyrian from their cages. Mykonikos thanks you for returning the spare parts for the Colossus, and Thanikos thanks you for helping clear out the northern area. But now the southern area is being controlled by the House of Rituals. Their main advantage in battle is their endless army of risen fighters. But the Arcanic Resonator, which you just recently obtained, will take care of that problem by stopping the undead to be raised again, once you take him down in the first place. Before heading out, Mykonikos has a quest for you. So the Anima Conflux that you brought back for him is completely drained of anima, but the Maldraxi have these big green crystals, which are being used to drain anima from the fallen Kyrian. They can also be used to charge the Conflux, which will help the Colossus be active again. So while you're in the south, drain the necrotic extractors to empower the Anima Conflux. Now you head out, sunder the 12 corpses from the House of Rituals, and charge the Anima Conflux by using the crystals. Once that's done, you meet up with everyone at the Shattered Span, and speak with Thanikos, who says that by using the Arcanic Resonator, the Maldraxi undead won't be able to be raised to fight again. Mykonikos says that the Anima Conflux isn't 100%, but it'll do, and that the Colossus still needs to finish charging up. When speaking with Thanikos again, he says that if the necromancer in front of him, named Marath the Harvester, if his brood descends upon us fully before the Colossus is done charging, then we're all screwed. So we need to keep Amarath's attention until the Colossus is fully charged. Amarath calls down some forces and we fight him off. Then he sends his mount Spawn, named Maramar, into the fight. Once he's dead, you run up to Mykonikos, who says that the Colossus is fully charged. So you hop into it and blast the enemies out of the sky. Once they're all taken care of, Thanikos says that Amarath took off to fight the Paragon, and rewards you with the Waylight Epaulets for having cleared the sky. He also says that he doesn't know what awaits us over the chasm, but we will face the great unknown together and hopes that the Paragon is alive. From here, you're to confront Marath the Harvester with Thanikos. As you head across the chasm, you see the Paragon of Courage fighting Amarath. Amarth. I've been saying his name wrong the entire time. When Thanikos runs into battle, he's trapped by Amarth's spell and changed into Thanikos' Spine Render, which leaves the Paragon heartbroken. So now you head into battle and fight off Thanikos in his new form. Once he's dead, the Paragon chases after Amarth, while you run up to Apollon and get a ride out of there. When you land, you speak with him, and are told that you can go help the Paragon once you've gathered reinforcements. This then completes the 6th chapter in the Bastion quest line. We're really close to finishing this area off, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Next week will be a really short chapter because it only has 3 quests. But after that, we're going back to what this channel was all about in the first place, starting from the beginning and summarizing the quest lore that we skipped so many years ago. I took a gamble and thought that covering newer content would be something really good for the channel, but honestly, it hurt it more than anything. A lot of people just don't care for Shadowlands, and as far as the lore goes, I'm not really a fan. I want to get back to the basic storytelling, and that's what I'm gonna do. So next week, we'll finish off Bastion with a really little episode. And then we're gonna go back to the old stuff, because it's written a lot better than this crap. Big shout out to the Patreon members for supporting this channel. If you'd like to help out, then check out the Patreon link down below. And with that, we'll see you next week when we find out what's going on in the Tales of Azeroth. How do you say that word? Epaulets?
Epaulets.
Epaulets, okay.